Communication. Good communication skills are essential to becoming a good leader. Communication is the act of sending and receiving a message through words, symbols, and pictures. Communication is used for sharing information and influencing other people. There are key elements to the communication process. A sender is responsible for encoding an intended message into meaningful symbols, both verbal and nonverbal. The message is sent through a communication channel to a receiver. The receiver then decodes and interprets the meaning of the message from the sender. However, this interpretation may or may not match the sender's original message. Feedback is provided to the senders in response to original message, and the communication process is switched between the receiver and the sender. There are two types of communication. Effective communication occurs when the intended meaning of the sender is identical to the interpreted meaning of the receiver. Leaders with good communication skills have good relationships. Effective communication is not always efficient and should occur at a minimum resource cost to be beneficial. Communication barriers. Poor choice of channels. A communication channel is a pathway through which a message travels from a sender to the receiver. Good leaders choose the most beneficial communication channel. Written or electronic methods are best for simple messages that are easy to convey. Spoken channels work best for complex messages and where immediate feedback to the sender is important. It is important to write the message intended as concise and clear as possible. Communication is most effective when it can be clearly understood by the receiver. Nonverbal signals can also affect a message. Nonverbal communications takes place through body language, such as eye contact and personal space. Communication channels, such as email, may reduce the need for nonverbal signals. Nonverbal communication takes place through gestures, facial expressions, body posture, eye contact, and use of interpersonal space. Nonverbal communication can express positivity or negativity easily. Mixed messages occur when nonverbal signals communicate different things than the person's words. The growing use of communication technologies causes important nonverbal communication to be lost. Physical distractions can include interruptions from telephone calls, drop-in visitors, a lack of privacy. It can interfere with the effectiveness of a communication attempt and can be avoided or at least minimized through proper planning. Status effects occurs when an organization's leaders become a barrier in communication. Status effects include filtering through the intentional distortion of information to make it appear favorable to the audience. Filtering is often present in higher and lower levels of organizations. It is done to please the boss or to hide personal mistakes. Review of what we learned. What is communication? The communication process. And what are communication barriers? Thank you for listening. This presentation is by Rashpreet Singh.